Right, Volvo V90. Google Volvo United Kingdom car configurator. Sounds like fun. And we want in there we go, V90 recharge plug-in hybrid. Design your V90 recharge. Choose your style. Dynamic and stylish, our design. Inscription, we'll go for the Inscription. Powertrain. Thank you. Powertrain T6 all-wheel drive plug-in hybrid. Choose the colour. Let's have a look. What's that look like? Bright silver, pebble grey, platinum grey. Yep, that's more me. 19-inch 10-spoke diamond cut and black, or 20-inch. If we look at 20-inch. Right, with the 20-inch, you've got to have active chassis with rear air suspension as well. So that's, I think the wheels are normally 800 pounds and that's 2,300 in total, but a real worthwhile option if you like comfort. Dark tinted rear windows, we'll go for those, we don't need to know more about them. The interior, wool blend, ventilated Napa leather, that's charcoal, and that one is blonde. We'll go for the blonde, a lighter interior. Climate packages, add packages, car protection, climate, look at that. Got heated steering wheel, that's a must. You can have integrated booster cushions at the back, that's a good option if you've got kids. Heated rear seats, dual position, so the two outer seats, they're heated. And there's also heads-up display there. A heated front windscreen. Now, if you order head-up display, you can't have the heated windscreen, so that's negated if you order the heads-up display. But anyway, we'll order it. And here we go. So that's £13.25. Lighting package, learn more. Lighting package, headlight cleaning system and full LED lights. So go on, we'll go for that. And then lounge, starts from 1950. This will be interesting. Learn more, I added it anyway. Advanced air cleaner, panoramic roof, that's a must. Premium sound by Baron Wilkins or Harman Kardon. We'll go for the Baron Wilkins. Let's see what we've got here. £68,015. Wow. Review design. V90 recharge, automatic, electricity and petrol, all-wheel drive, 5 seats. Design, Inscription, platinum grey. Yep, everything I want there. 20-inch wheels. Let's just see what it looks like. Looking good. Let's book a test drive. Off we go. Hi, my name's Barry Crampton. Today I'm going to show you around our Volvo V90 Recharge. Then I'll take you for a ride in it, but first I'll tell you a little bit more about it. It's a V90 Recharge plug-in hybrid T6 all-wheel drive Inscription. It's finished in platinum grey with blonde Napa soft leather, and that's perforated and ventilated. So it has the the Volvo kind of, I can see you come in Thor hammer in the headlamps there, so they're illuminated just as your daytime running lights. Really good idea. You can see a Volvo coming from miles. The high pressure headlamp wash system, the big chrome Volvo grille, and the low chin spoiler there. Here we have front parking sensors. This has got the 360 camera system as well, which I'll go into later. I used to like, but I don't like them anymore now. They start going wrong and we have to keep paying for cameras. So there you go, that's a pet hate of mine. So these are the 20-inch alloys, diamond cut and black. And as I say, if you choose this option, it would seem from the configurator that you have to have the air suspension. And to be fair, I think that's probably a good idea, because I always say that the cars with the smaller wheels, they run better. The big wheels look better on the outside, but when you're driving them, you get less tram lining, less like car tramp. You don't feel the bumps as much with the smaller wheels with the larger profile tyres. But the suspension in this, the air suspension, it really is good. There is an option to switch it off, which I tried yesterday, and honestly the difference it makes is absolutely huge. Just here we've got a power socket to charge. In the boot there's a 3-pin charger for your domestic supply, and there's also the fast charge lead as well. So we have the full panoramic roof, and it's a tilt and slide. The roof opens with a shade band inside, aluminium roof bars, the aluminium window surrounds, same around the door handles, and also this trim, the door protector up the side here, and recharge in there. Rear privacy glass. We have, as long as you've got the key on you, if you just touch the door handle when you're getting out, it'll lock the doors and put the mirrors away. Come back to the car, put your hand behind, just open the door, like so. Have the integrated rear tailgate spoiler, the rear wash wipe, as I say, rear privacy glass, which includes the cargo area here. You can open it from this key, like so. So it's power open, power close. Also on the Volvo, which is I think it's a pretty good idea, you can put the tailgate down here with the left switch, and the right switch you can put the tailgate down and lock the car. So that's a really good idea. If you ask the car salesman if his life depended on it and he had to sell a car, what car would he buy to sell? My answer would be a Volvo Estate. I mean, they're just they're like Bitcoin these days. I was going to say gold, but obviously it's Bitcoin now, I think. They are fantastic. Everybody loves Volvo Estates. I like Volvos. They are in a class of their own. Another great idea here, the load cover, that when you put the tailgate up, that slides back so you can get all your luggage in, and it's out of your way rather than having to wind it back yourself and then lean in and pull forward. So it goes back and forwards with the movement of the tailgate. Really, really good idea. Here we go. I won't lock myself out, but that's it. Again, the aluminium trim at the bottom here, just finishing the bumper off, and we've got the rear parking sensors, and also you've got a reversing camera. Well, you've got 360 cameras, but there, that'll be the reversing camera there, allows you to see out the back. Challenging day today. Oh right, so there's actually a switch on the dashboard which will knock the rear head restraints down when you're, well, I don't see why you'd need it when you're reversing, because you have got the cameras and the reversing sensors and so on, so I'm not quite sure what it's for. Volvo in their wisdom will know, but it escapes me at the moment. The interior of this car is absolutely beautiful. The seats are really comfortable. You know, being a Volvo, it's going to be a safe car. It's got the side impact protection system and airbags just about everywhere you look. Even, you know, the backs of these seats, if you're a back passenger, nothing to hurt you if you do fly forward. With the option pack, we've got 2 heated rear seats on the outside here. Not a fantastic amount of room for the 5th person in here, to be fair. Although even that's probably more comfortable than most cars. And they've thought there's a little rubber mat across here, because obviously the person in the middle has got to get the leg over there, and will no doubt dirty that and dirty the back of the centre console. They have thought of everything. There's vents in the B pillar here, coat hanger here. There's a little indentation here for a parcel net, so again, if you're carrying stuff and you brake suddenly, it doesn't all hit you on the back of the head. Just very, very nice. This full pan roof, it appears to be coated with some reflective material. I'm looking out at the sun there, and it's not as bad as it could be. So it's obviously got some properties in it there to protect you from getting too hot or sunburnt. We've got Baron Wilkins speakers here. It's fantastic. Sound system in here. Mind you, it should be for £2.5 grand, was it? whatever the cost, it certainly should be. Also here in the back, just in case the rear privacy glass isn't enough, we've got these shade blinds. It's the insets in the dashboard and the doors. They're so nice. Volvo interiors are one of the nicest in the car market. We've also got here the Isofix rear child seat anchor points. Volvo are very, very safety conscious, and you know, driver or passenger, that if the worst comes to the worst, you've got more chance of surviving in one of these than most other cars. Okay, I'll just take you for a ride. I'm just going to start the engine. I'm going to put it on power so the engine starts and it doesn't work off there. You've got hybrid, power, pure, all-wheel drive. Pure is just electric only. At this moment in time, it's showing 23 miles on electric charge. I think full charge is 25, or that's what I got yesterday when I left it charging at the garage. And we've got 280 miles in fuel. That's the Volvo key. Quite a nice key, nice design, and again, when it's dark, you know which one it is. You've got lock, unlock, and then you've got boot release. That, if you keep that pressed, it sounds the alarm. So it's a kind of a panic button. Again, Volvo, superb ideas. Let's just check this. Height and reach adjustable steering wheel. It's got an excellent range of motion there as well. Lovely gear knob design here. It's kind of crystal. I'm not sure how hard wearing that'll be with anybody who's got a wedding ring on or anything, but it shouldn't be too bad. We've got the display here, the driving display, and I've got it on power, as I say, but also I'm going to put it on charge for the time being. So hopefully that puts some charge back into the car. We'll try and get it up to 25, the maximum, and then I'll just put it in electric only. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Volvo. They've lent me this car to do a video on, and also I'll do a video on the actual system here, pairing your phone to the Bluetooth and deleting one and streaming audio and so on. So I'll do videos on those as well. But they've lent me this to kind of evaluate and do the stuff I do. We review used vehicles normally, because that's what I sell. Usually kind of 3-year-old vehicles to 10-year-old vehicles. But The last 3 years, obviously, with this electric business, it's stuff's come on kind of leaps and bounds and changed quite a lot from what we sell. So it's good for me to get to know what we're going to be selling in the future, and it's good for you if you're going to buy a new Volvo. And to be fair, I've had this for 2 or 3 days now, and you can't really knock it. I'm not a big fan of electric cars. I'm not a big fan of hybrid cars, as everybody who knows, everybody knows who watches this channel. But let's see where it goes. I'll try and be as unbiased as possible. Let's see what happens on the drive. So the specification is tremendous. This vehicle costs something like £68,000 on the road. It's got everything. As I say, all the stuff on this car, especially the Baron Wilkins speakers, I think I'd probably order if I had the money and if I had the choice. You see there the reversing camera. Oh, that's one thing I wouldn't order, and I'll show you for why. So if I click that twice and we go into drive, now you see there, that's the view. It's a 360 degree all round, and you see there, that's the car next to us, another Volvo, very good taste there, and then the Peugeot. But it doesn't really, it blows everything out of perspective. I suppose if you click on that, you can get a better look. Kind of, if we just go back there, we'll just click on there again, 360, and then on that right one, if you think you're close to something, then by all means you can kind of narrow it down. But in all honesty, it's just something that's going to fail in the future. We sell lots of Range Rovers, and at first I thought it was a good idea, and then when they come back in kind of 7 or 8 years old, when you think those cameras are outside 365 days a year, and in all sorts of inclement weather, they're bound to fail. They're being rattled about all the time, going over bumps and potholes, and it's a delicate piece of equipment. They're going to fail. These GoPros that I've got, specifically, they're action cameras. You're lucky, and I treat them with respect. They're inside a vehicle all the time. There's one outside the car, but mostly inside a vehicle. And they fail. They fail all the time. You know, you're lucky if you get 12 months out of one, really. So, although that's handy, it's something that, as I say, it'll be all right for a few years, and then it'll go wrong. And whether you want to get it repaired or not, but that's entirely up to you. But from my point of view, 5 cameras, they're like 300 quid a piece. Several years down the line, it can virtually write the car off because the cameras are, it's just not worth repairing. So that's one thing. The other thing that is not upsetting, but the heads-up display, it's a tremendous idea. On this Volvo here, I can see straight ahead. You can adjust it so no matter what height you are, you can move it around sideways, up and down, and you've got the heads-up display there, and it tells me it's got a traffic sign 60 miles an hour in the window, and also I'm doing 38. However, one of the things, because it's got the heads-up display, you can't have, according to the configurator anyway, you can't have the heated front screen. The heated front screen is kind of invaluable in my opinion, and although that's one of my favourite extras, I'd still do without the heads-up display to have the heated front screen. The rest of the car It's beautiful. The seats are beautiful. Whoever ordered this car in this specification with the blonde leather interior and platinum grey metallic outside, it's a lovely, lovely combination. This leather here, the two-tone on the steering wheel, I'm not sure whether I like it. on first impressions, when you get in the car, it looks good. It looks really good. But it does remind me of an old set of white walls. Which, the funny thing is, I like white walls, but I'm not sure whether I like the steering wheel. So anyway, multifunction steering wheel. You've got your cruise control on the left here. It's also distronic cruise control, or whatever Volvo call it. You set the cruise control, and then here you can set the distance you want to be from the car in front, and it is quite aggressive. Yesterday when I was backing out, it's got kind of an emergency brake system. Yesterday when I was backing out the garage, I'm just on a slope, and it banged the brakes on. There's nothing behind me, but it just thought, because I was on a slope, I was going backwards. But boy, did it stop me quickly. I nearly got whiplash. And you know, not all inventions are fantastic. This has also got lane departure warning, and it's got steering assist as well. Now, as I've said before, if you go into a new car dealership and you order lane departure warning, you should be taken around the back and shot. There should be no circumstances that you need lane departure warning. If you're too tired to drive and you think you're falling asleep, then get off the road. Lane departure warning is not going to stop it. It certainly won't wake me up. At its lightest setting, there's a tremble in the steering wheel, but this Volvo also steers you back into the centre of the road. It kind of stops you crossing the white lines or the zigzag lines, and it stops you violently. I was coming onto the motorway this morning. There was nothing at my side. There was nothing behind me. I didn't indicate. I come up the slip road, and the car, the steering wheel was almost yanked from my hands because I didn't indicate to say I was going on to the motorway, and it is, and also the steering assist when you're driving up the motorway. I'll try and show you later. I don't know whether I'll have time today, but I've got the car for a week, so I'll try and do some motorway driving as well. But you can feel with the assist on, you can feel the steering wheel kind of moving all the time. It's constantly adjusting. And I always think, you know, if you're overtaking a cyclist or somebody steps off the pavement, which quite often happens, there seems to be a dog-loving community in Preston, but they don't seem to be blessed with much common sense. So quite often they'll be stood on the pavement either talking or whatever, and the dog's on the lead, but the lead is slack, and the dog will kind of see something and step into the road. It's happened on numerous occasions in Preston where we are, and I'm always ready for it. But you turn away, and if you've got this lane departure or steering assist on, it turns you back. So you're trying to avoid an accident and it's turning you back. So for me, all that stuff shouldn't be on cars. And then it's down to you as a driver. But the rest of it, so the air suspension, it's got a lot of stuff that makes me scream. It's got a heated steering wheel, fantastic. It's got Google Assist. That's me. I'm logged in to my Google and Gmail account up at the top there. If I just click that, Oh, it won't. While I'm driving, it won't let me access it. But for instance, hey Google, switch heated steering wheel off.
Sure, turning off the steering wheel heater.
Now, it's usually a lot faster than that. But you'll notice there's hardly any switches. And I like not a sparse cabin, but a functional cabin. I don't like switches. They look great, you know, when you get in a car and there's switches everywhere. It looks fantastic. But when you're actually trying to drive and use it, you don't want that. You just want simple stuff. For me to put the steering wheel, the heated steering wheel on, what I have to do is click there, and then click the steering wheel. Now this isn't, I'm not going fast, it's not a fantastically bumpy road, but it's still kind of a challenge to switch it off, and I have to take my eyes off the steering wheel. Now, for instance, if I want the heated rear screen on, there you go, heated rear screen on. If I want Google to do it, and I'm going to stop saying hey Google, because you might have an Android device and I might be, you know, turning your device on. So I can also press this voice activation. So I want to switch the heated rear screen on. Switch heated rear screen on. No,
Just a moment. This internet connection isn't reliable at the moment.
Internet, that's Google Assist. So that isn't quite working. Now, if I go to, here you go, this is the other way. Sorry, if I just click the temperature in the center there, heated rear screen, switch the heated rear screen on. So that's the other way to switch it on, and that's how you control everything in the car with this pad. It is the Google Assist. If you want to switch something on, you can tell it, but again, if you've no internet connection, it's like Siri, you can't, it won't do what you require. And then you're left with this big screen. There's a couple of things I would like to see as switches, but that's not to be. The radio, for instance, there you go. I mean, I just don't know really. You've got sound there that adjusts where you can hear the sound from. It's all very, very complicated. If I want to listen to my driving, that's the home button there. If I want to listen to my music, that's it there. I'll just turn that up. So the sound's fantastic. The display is fantastic. On the left hand side you've got speed, digital speed readout. I'm assuming that's the rev counter. Yeah, rev counter's going up, but it doesn't actually tell me what revs. Mind you, I suppose in electric it'd be like thousands. On the right hand side it's telling me I'm on power and I'm in drive. If I now go to, well actually I think we're going to be going down a hill. So we've got obviously reverse, neutral, drive, and then we've got a B, which is braking and recharge to my way of thinking. If I click it into B, you start getting the regenerative braking or engine braking, a lot of engine braking, and to be fair, it's quite good. You can probably drive most places just using one pedal without using your brakes. You can feel it going down there, and as soon as I let my foot off the accelerator, the motors are regenerating or harvesting power and putting it back into the battery. I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing driving in B, or whether you should just use it for engine braking going down a hill as you would change down in a normal car. And it's kind of manual as well. There I can change up or change down by knocking the gear lever across. We're going down the hill here now, so we're doing 25. I haven't got my foot on the accelerator or the brake. At the moment it's holding me at 25, and with a bit of luck it should be ploughing. I'm going to knock that down a gear. No, we're actually accelerating there. I'm knocking it down a gear so that we get more. There we go. Just coming down here, not touching any of the controls. With a bit of luck it's regenning and charging the battery. Now we're obviously in the country, nice quiet place, so I'm going to put it into electric, into pure. So here we go, driving. No, see, I missed the button going over a bump, so driving, I hit sound instead, power into pure and automatic here. So now we're in electric. And this reminds me of when I was a kid, and the milkman used to come in a obviously electric milk float, and I'd jump on the back and get a ride with him round our street. Now we've got here automatic hold. If I just click this on, you can see a couple of sheep in the road there, so click that on. So on auto hold, we're not going anywhere even though we're pointing downhill. When I set off now, that noise, oh, there's a car coming behind me now. It just reminds me of a milk float. The noise it makes is the noise that I associate with one of the windows being down slightly. But during the last few weeks we've had this fuel crisis where everybody, well, not actually a crisis, but because the BBC like frightening the British public to death, they reported that they could be, and of course there was. Next day, everybody, you couldn't get on the fuel station. Now, if I had this vehicle, I live in an apartment. I like to call it an apartment. It's probably a flat, and I can't charge the car at home. I'd have to have an incredibly long cable to get from my flat to the car park. And the only place I can charge it at work, and even that's quite awkward because we have a porta cabin and the cable won't reach unless it goes out of one of the side windows, but it does. So I charged it, and it was on charge for probably about 4 hours, and it got to 25 miles, and then of course I set off home. It was raining, It was cold. I had the heated steering wheel on, the heated rear screen, and although I had 25 miles, it actually used more than 25, well, not more than 25 miles, it used more than the 5 miles that I live from work. But I got there and back okay. And for stuff like that, school runs, it's absolutely ideal. You get home, if you've got a fast charger outside, which I would have if I had an electric car, I'd have a proper charging unit fitted, and I'd have one of those, and it would be ideal if you like electric cars. You know, I don't like going to the fuel station. You know, as I say, nice and quiet. But I'm going to change to power. So it's fairly quiet on electric, fairly quiet. I'll just get on a flat bit where there's no noise. So if I now change to power, there's hardly any difference. You can tell it's quite a seamless change. It's not much different. Hybrid, so that's both. It's now regenning. You can see there. Well, actually, I'll put it in drive. Change from B to drive. So we're in, and there you go. The recharge or the regen is not as much as when it's in B. Put it in B, and we'll go over the top here, and then I'll let my foot off the accelerator. There we go. And there, the regen is probably twice as much as it is in drive. I'll just show you again. So here we go. That's taking power on the right hand side there. When I come to the hill, or let off the accelerator, here we go, I'll let off now, and you can see there it's regenning. No foot on the accelerator, and it's putting energy back into the battery. Now I'm going to go further than we normally go today. So remembering we're on hybrid at the moment. You heard the engine cut in there. We were on electric, and then when I put my foot down, the engine cut in to help with the acceleration and power. I must say, the suspension, I'm really impressed with the suspension. It's so comfortable. This is kind of Range Rover quality drive, which I measure everything by. I am pleasantly surprised. I don't want to change to electric. Personally, I think it's at this moment it's a mistake. I don't think the UK, well, I don't think the world's ready, but especially the UK. There's a couple of good articles. One, Ed China, he's just made an electric ice cream van, and he's done a video of making the batteries, or assembling the batteries, making it powerful enough and making the unit powerful enough, and the pitfalls from electric. And then there was another video the other day which I watched, a guy called SME 150, who has a whole range of supercars, and he's just bought a Taycan, and he's just been to the Nürburgring. And on the way back from the Nürburgring, of course, he come across the problems with the electric chargers. not working, not taking his card, not working on fast charge. But then he got to the UK and hardly any of them were working, and it was a big problem. Again, this, you've got fuel, it wouldn't matter. So I think if you are going for a car, certainly the safer option would be hybrid. And then you have got the best of both worlds. If there's a petrol strike, a petrol crisis, a shortage, you've got electric. And if there's, going back to when I was a kid and we used to have power cuts and 3 days weeks and doing my homework by candlelight, because I think it was about 6 o'clock or 6:30 every night when they thought you'd had your tea, cut the electric off and you sat there, you know, no mobile phones in those days, you've got to talk to each other, no TV, no nothing. But then you'd have petrol. So I think hybrid's the way forward. Here we go, we're still on B here, so I'm going down the hill and it's putting charge back into the battery. So in hybrid and B, I would recommend that you didn't use B all the time. It's quite hard to find a video or instructions on how to best drive an electric vehicle. What's the best way to do it? I know a friend of mine who he wanted an i3 and I got him an i3, and when it's like this or it gets to winter, he always rings me up and says, this shed you sold me, I can't see out the windscreen. And of course the heater's not fantastic in it, and you get in the car and it's cold. You can't sit there with the engine running until everything demists, because the engine doesn't start. There's nothing to start, and of course the stop-start system, it just keeps it off. Here we go. This is what I love about the country. Cyclists. Well, I ain't going to overtake you there, even if you're going single file. Our Lancashire Constabulary recommends that you should give them at least 1.5 meters when you overtake, which would mean hitting that tree square on the Volvo badge in the centre. We'll get around this bend and make sure nothing's coming. There's no animals to plough into. I have got rather an impatient guy behind me, or a couple of impatient guys. He was going to overtake me then, and they're waving me on. They can see and I couldn't. I have to say, lovely vehicle. This is the cruise control there, switch on and then set like so. So when I was coming up here on the motorway, it also set the lane departure. It shows you in the heads-up display there that cruise is on. I'm just going over the white line there and it's trembling the steering wheel. Not just the cat's eyes doing it, it's the car telling me I'm going over a white line. And honestly, if I was asleep, there is no way that would wake me up. There's no way that would stop me going across the white lines. Another brilliant option, which again should be standard on all cars, and I won't be able to demonstrate it today unless this chap overtakes me. In fact, I'll try and let him overtake me, because he is a bit impatient. It's the blind spot warning. Anybody in your blind spot, an orange indicator in the outside of the mirror glass lights up, warns you not to pull out. There's a couple of motorbikes behind me. It's unusual that they haven't blasted by, but they've obviously got a restricted view and are good riders, safe riders. We'll see how it goes on, and I'll try and show you. Now we're coming into a little village now. That's not going to do it. As I was saying about cameras, that's overheated and switched off now. Just what you need. This chap's still behind us. He won't be happy. So when we get on a straight, I'm going to let him go. Here we go, I'm going to let him go now. There you go. There's the blind spot warning, and it's also warning me that I'm getting too close to the wall there. The traffic signal recognition there, it's telling me 60. One of the good things, again, is that, say for instance we're in a 60 zone and we're going into a 40 or a 30, it actually projects the 30 sign behind the 60 so that you know what's ahead. That's a fantastic idea. The centre, you've got your sat-nav display. This may not work because of course the internet signal won't be very good. Hey Google, take me to Blackburn Road, Preston.
Showing results for Blackburn Road, Preston.
You know, all that, I know I'm going about modern technology in cars, but stuff like that is really good. Otherwise, you know, it isn't safe to program a sat-nav while you're driving. All I have to do there is click start. That's all I have to do. It's that's pretty good technology, or the best use of technology. At the moment it's showing me that I'm getting 40.2 miles per gallon. Now I did have it ticking over probably for a good hour while I was videoing and photographing it before. So it's not moved for an hour, and that's, you know, spoilt the averages. But it's building back up. What a lovely day for a drive, especially if you're on a motorbike. There we go, nice clear display. Shows you the route, tells you the next turning, just like it does here, but here you only have to kind of glance down. So you've got everything ahead of you, the heads-up display. It's a good setup. Of course, I've got an iPhone as well, so we've got Google Assistant. I'm signed into Google. I've got the use of Hey Google. Play music.
Okay, I can play that on Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, or Deezer. Which one do you want to use?
Apple Music.
Apple Music isn't installed on your device. You can install Apple Music to start listening.
Hey Google, you are not as good as Siri. It's speechless. Hey Siri, shuffle music.
Here's some music from your Apple Music library.
Obviously I'll have to turn that up. There you go. I'll just turn that down, but if I go back there, sorry, if I go to the menu. Oh, Santana. So there you go, that's showing what's playing and so on. So again, good display. You can fast forward to the next track or skip to the next track, pause, but you can also do the same from here. Just that button there, if we click that, that's just showing you your next turn in the console. Click it again and it shows you the map, which is, in fairness, it's pretty good, I've got to say. It's like the Audi TT that I was using the other week. That display, I do like that. I hate to think how much it would cost to replace if it went wrong, but it is good. So I'm very grateful to Volvo. I mean, I've got a small YouTube channel. Got 21,000 subscribers now, plus a couple of other little channels for showing people how to use a sat nav and delete phones and pair them and so on. So all in all, we've got about 26,000 subscribers, a couple of websites, and then we've got the Grosvenor Garage car sales website, and we do try and get as many Volvos as we can. It's not just something I say because Volvo have lent me this car. I say it because I like Volvos. My dad had a Volvo when I was younger, 243,000 miles, and oh, funnily enough, well, it wasn't funny at all. It got written off by a milk float. A milk float crashed into it and wrote it off. But that is one of the things about electric vehicles. They're so heavy, you wouldn't think a milk float would write off a Volvo, but it's just batteries, just complete batteries, and obviously the weight in it didn't do my dad's Volvo any good. Plus, I suppose, the mileage. But the other thing is, when I first started in the car job selling cars, I'd already seen a Volvo P1800S. Simon Templar, the Saint, he had one. I always wanted one. I saw it when I was younger and I wanted one. And to this day, I still want one. And we took one in, part exchange at the garage, and it had a record player in. To this day, it's the only car I've ever seen with a record player in, a 45. It was under the passenger, under the glove box, on the passenger side, and it was mounted on like springs. But today's roads, the roads were bad then, but not as bad as they are today. Crikey, it would all be like these DJs sampling records now, where they make like a scratching noise. That was probably invented by somebody who had that Volvo P1800S. So they're not just famous for inventing the kind of the 3-point seat belt. and then rather than patent it and keeping it to themselves, they donated it to all the other car manufacturers. How many people, how many lives must they have saved now? Would anybody else have done it? Would Ford have done it? I'm not sure. So it's been on hybrid. We're now down to 15 miles on hybrid. Just flip back there. Now there may be a simpler way of doing this. So if I put it on pure, we'll go straight onto pure here. As I say, there may be a simpler way of doing that, but I would like to see a switch not having to do that, where you could just flick from hybrid to power to pure, not having to do that. There may be somebody out there who knows a simpler way of doing that, or perhaps there is a shortcut somewhere which I haven't found yet. But I think something as important needs to be made as simple as possible. Big Volvo there. And whenever we get an XC90 in, Jeremy Clarkson said a few years ago, it may well have changed now, but records indicated that nobody had ever been killed in a XC90. He didn't say how many people XC90s had killed in crashes coming off better. But this again, it feels, let's just see, hopefully you can see that in the windscreen. So that's telling me to turn left at the next roundabout, telling me on here, but in the heads-up display. Don't have to look down, don't have to take my eyes off the road. Just here we go. That was a bit late indicating, sorry about that. My bad. Yeah, it's if you take a wrong turn in this car, you need shooting. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm not sure how long the cameras are going to last now. It's say one's overheated, obviously with the sun being on it as well. But I'm sure the other ones will go shortly, and I'll also run out of space on my memory cards, I would think. But I'm going to do some more up the motorway and see how it goes on the motorway. Right, so standing start, we're on pure. Let's go. Give this some. Oh, actually, no. I'm just gonna stop here because there's what looks like quite an interesting car coming past. Not sure what it was. Right, we'll let these go past, and then we're on electric. It's holding. So that's my foot flat down on it. It's brought the engine in. I wanted pure. So we'll do it again. But that's electric now. I'm braking, showing loads of regen there. very pleasant. I'll just put the steering. Oops, press the wrong button again. See this touchscreen business. It's terrible. Let's just. There you go. Blind spot indicator. You can also, if you want to save your electric charge for later, you can click hold. So it just uses power. Now, just hoping we'll put the cruise control on. Cruise control on. You see in the centre there. You see in the centre, and also in the heads-up display. There you go. It's moving the steering wheel. It's got steering assist on. It's doing all sorts of stuff. We'll wait till it picks up the white lines again. Just put cruise back on. And now it's got steering assist. It's quite. It's like, you see there, it's pulling me back. If I take my hands off the steering wheel, but if I go over there, look, it's pulling me back into the centre of the road. So it's holding me in the centre of the road with this steering assist. If I try and go, it's turning me back into the centre. So if you need that, fair enough. But to me, it just feels like somebody's fighting with the steering wheel all the time, or the steering wheel's fighting with me. It's not something I'd like. Again, it's something I don't think needed inventing. But I suppose if you are the type of person who needs lane assist, then you also need to be able to set the distance between you and the vehicle in front, just in case you fall asleep and you don't go down the embankment and you're going to plough into the back of somebody. Then you can just set it from here. I'll just cancel driver override. So I've just put my foot down along here. We'll get to 60. Just set it at 60. You see there, just adjusting it. So there we're at 60. Doing 59, catching up, 60. Or 60, there we go. And here, if you look down there, you'll see I'm adjusting the distance between me and the car in front. So there we go. I'll put a fair distance in. That's the maximum distance. We'll see if we close on these people in front. See how it goes. Right, that's slowing me down, but they've just turned the corner. So they turned the corner and went out of sight. So not one of my better demonstrations. I could have just ended up over there in the middle of the roundabout. Two Jaguars in front. So I've set that at 50 miles an hour. We're doing 37 now. But what's actually keeping us at this speed is the distance from that car in front. If I there you go, if I decrease the distance from the car in front, we're now speeding up. If I increase it, he's speeding up as well. We're 60 miles an hour. I haven't got my foot on the accelerator. We're not doing 60 miles an hour. We're doing 53. It's not accelerating, it's just keeping us a safe distance, or the distance that we set from the car in front. I've now turned it down, and as you can see, we're getting closer. But they've braked and the car is braking as well. So it's keeping me away. If I increase it, there you go. So this is on a dual carriageway. I'm not going to do the motorway. This is fine. It's a lovely day. The traffic will be horrendous on a motorway. All in all, it's a great car. If you're looking for a hybrid, I'm at the Volvo estate. A friend of mine, Paul Nut Brown from Southport, who's specialised in Volvos for many, many years. He has been in the motor trade as long as I can remember. If he was in an auction or looking at a sale and there's a Volvo estate in, you had no chance of buying it. He would just outbid you and then go right through them, throw Glasses Guide away, go right through them, recon them, put them on his forecourt, not worrying about having to sell them on Auto Trader. Years and years of previous customers, loyal customers, who would just come back and buy another Volvo estate. Living in Southport helps, having a good reputation helps. Volvo estate, second to none. As I said before, if as a salesman somebody told me you've got a weekend to sell a car or we kill you, what car would you choose? It would be, for me, a Volvo estate. They are the world's best sellers, and rightly so. Fantastic car. Thank you very much, Volvo, for lending me this vehicle. I really appreciate it. You don't know how much. And although some of your technology I don't like, there's a lot, and the build quality that I do. And it's no good having loads of technology if the car's going to drop to pieces before the technology does. I have a feeling though that this car will be on the road long after its iPad display and its LED or instrument cluster has ceased to exist, and it's all round cameras. Thanks very much for watching. If you've any comments, anything you'd like to see, just drop us a line in below the video. I'd be very grateful. And if I've missed anything, or you've got one of these and you know something that I should have done, or something that you do that I've missed, please drop us a line in the description. Thanks ever so much for watching, and thanks once again, Volvo. See you in the next video.